The most dangerous thing that I hear people say is that I'm not good at learning new things. Because in 2025, that's like saying I don't want a future. Learning new things is not about talent or even intelligence, but it's about having the right systems and the desire to learn. Today, I'm going to show you tools that have completely changed the way that I learn. And the best part is most of them are free. If you're someone like me who loves to learn new things all the time, but not just for the sake of learning, but to actually apply it, then you know how frustrating it is trying to learn something new on your own. For me, most of the time that meant going onto YouTube, reading blog articles, reading books, taking courses, etc., writing things down inside of my notebook. But oftentimes I felt like my notes were scattered everywhere and I just couldn't make sense of a concept sometimes. But with tools like NotebookLM, Perplexity, it not only changes how fast we can learn, but how deep into a topic we can go. The use cases for these tools to learn anything is endless. Really, you can learn anything. But if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur or a professional of any kind, these tools are going to let you learn things quickly to adapt to the fast paced world we live in by learning new skills, learning new things about your industry, keeping up with trends, you name it. This will give you a competitive advantage so you don't get left behind. So now I'm going to go into how these tools actually work. And I'm going to use something that I want to learn about as an example, and that's photography. I want to become a professional photographer. So there are a lot of things that I need to learn about: composition, lighting, how to price myself, and so many other things. And so that can be very overwhelming to try and learn at once. But with tools like NotebookLM, which I'm going to show you, you can learn things in a creative way and save notes so that you can quickly reference them. Because oftentimes what would happen for me is that I would have my notes scattered everywhere. I would have notebook scraps everywhere. Whenever I needed the knowledge right then and there, it just wouldn't be there. Okay, so now we're inside of NotebookLM, which is a Google product. And what this allows us to do is chat with the information that we upload to the notebook. So the reason why this is so powerful is because it allows you to make connections between different data sources, to find relations between them that maybe you wouldn't have found yourself, which allows you to learn much faster than you would otherwise by just, reading something or watching a YouTube video. And what I love about it too is that, as it's mixing information, you can ask it to explain maybe something more complex that you saved inside the notes, like you're a 10-year-old, and that allows you to digest the information very fast. So let's get into this actual platform. When you first sign up, you're going to see this screen here. And this is the screen without any notebooks. The first thing you're going to do is click create, and that's going to create your first notebook. You're probably going to hear me say the word notebook a lot here. This is the inside of your notebook, and it's broken down into 3 columns. You have your sources over here, which is the data that you're going to be adding. You have the chat. This is the place where you're going to chat with the information and it will appear here, just like in ChatGPT. And then you have Studio, which is a way for you to create a podcast. And not only that, but you can create notes out of it so that you can save them for later as you are learning from different things inside of your notebook. So I'll show you what I mean. I know it's like just looking at something is kind of hard to explain. So I'll show you now. So for the sake of time, I've already found sources that I can actually add to the notebook, and they're here. I found a YouTube video. I found a blog article. I found a couple blog articles. I actually used Google Gemini to do some deep research. Now, I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the main thing that I want to talk about here is how to get information into your notebook. So when you want to add information to your notebook, you're going to click this add source button here. You'll see that you can drag a file in. You can add a PDF, a text document, an audio, etc. And then you have it to where you can add a Google Doc, you can add Google Slides, a website, a YouTube URL, or just copy and paste some text inside of there. So what I'm going to do is take this URL from this YouTube video I found. Now, again, remember, I'm trying to learn about how to be a photographer. So I found a video on how to use a light meter, which is probably one of the more difficult tools to use in photography. I'm actually going to click share, copy this link. I'm going to go back to NotebookLM, and then I'm going to click on YouTube. Then I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to paste that URL and then click insert down here at the bottom right. Now you can see that it has saved the source, and you can see it here by clicking on it. You can see it took the transcript of that video and it added it here for you. Go back to sources. Now there's another thing that I found, which is about composition in photography. And I also want this link as well. So I'm going to take the URL, I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go back to NotebookLM, and then I'm going to click add source, and then I'm going to click website, and then go and paste the URL here. Now we have that information saved here as well. As you can see, all the information from the blog article is saved as a source. I also found another article, which is about how to get clients as a photographer. So again, I'm going to click here, copy, and I'm going to paste it as a source. All right, so now we have 3 sources here. This is me just going online, finding things. And typically what I would do is I would save it maybe in my book or in my Chrome browser, but there was no way for me to really mix the information or chat with it to get specific information when I need. And that's the power of NotebookLM. So that's what I've done. But if you want to go a step further, you can use tools like Perplexity, which I'm going to show you right now. Perplexity is a tool that allows you to search the web and find anything very quickly. The way that you can think about this is like having an assistant that will go and search for everything that you're looking for online and give you a nice overview of all of the information. Before, you would have to go in and click on blog articles, click in Reddit posts, and find information just very loosely. And that would take a very long time. Perplexity cuts that time in half. I'd actually probably say more than half. It just gets rid of that time that you would spend doing that. To tell you a little bit more about Perplexity, they do have a free plan. And with the free plan, you can search the web with it, but the results aren't going to be as comprehensive. And then if you have the pro plan, you get, I think, 300 pro searches, which uses models like ChatGPT o1 or o3 or even DeepSeek's R1 now, as I can see. And what that actually does is it does more of a thorough research as it's looking for the information online with more robust AI models. If you're in a free plan of Perplexity, you do get 3 to 5 pro searches a day. So if you are just trying to do some light research, the free plan is perfect. Okay, so I'm going to type, give me a list of all the core concepts for photography. I am a beginner and want to become a professional. Since I'm on the pro plan, I have the pro search selected and we're going to click. So as you can see, what it's doing here is it's searching the web. It's telling you what it's doing. And then it found sources. It tells you the sources where it found it here. And you can see it just gave me a big breakdown of all the things that I need to learn when it comes to photography. Now I can say, now give me a lesson on each of these topics. Okay, so as you can see now, it's writing a lesson for each one. Now, this is not comprehensive. I just want to show you that you can actually do research with Perplexity. And what we're going to do here is once it's done, we're going to take this information and we're going to copy it and we're going to put it inside of our notebook as a source. So in this case, we're just going to copy the text and we're going to paste it here, as you can see. And now it has that information as a source. I can rename this. I always recommend renaming or naming your sources, core concepts of photography. Okay, so on the free version of NotebookLM, and NotebookLM is free to use, you have, I believe you can add 50 sources to this notebook, and that's quite a bit. However, on the paid plan, which I believe is $20 a month for Google Gemini and all the other Google tools like that, it does give you 300 sources that you can add, which is quite a bit. Now that we have our sources here, we can click study guide. Now, what this is going to do is automatically going to create a study guide for you based on the information from your sources. It's going to mix everything up for you. So as you can see, it gave a study guide, it gave you the quiz, and then it gives you the answer key. And what I love is that it gives you a glossary of the key terminology that is a part of what you're researching. And so you can actually take this information, you can go back to Perplexity, and you can go down a rabbit hole. But the great thing about the rabbit hole with NotebookLM is that you can add the sources to this notebook and then you can make sense of the information. I'll show you. I can chat with my information inside of the notebook now and I can say, explain ISO to me as if I were a 10-year-old. So now it's going through my sources, it's reading it. Here it is. Imagine your camera has a superpower, sensitivity to light, which is what ISO refers to. It broke it down for me in such an easy way to understand. And so the more information that you add to this notebook, the more you can just ask questions about it and get the information that you want to know. A lot of times when we're trying to learn something, we'll have to read through so much stuff that either we're just not ready to learn yet or it bores us. And so with this type of notebook, you can really dive deep into a topic to be able to learn quickly. Another thing you can do is you can add your own note. If you want to add your own note, you can just type it here, say my note, whatever it is. And then whatever's on your mind, you can add into the notes. and you can add it as a note so that you can reference it later. And then if you want it to become a source, let's just say you wrote a lot here and you want it to become a source that you can chat with later and mix amongst all the other knowledge that you have, then you would click this convert to source button down here and it would add it to your sources. You can create an FAQ, you can create a briefing doc and a timeline if it talks about anything in terms of a timeline. And it really is a robust way to learn. I love this. It's just incredible, honestly. If I had this tool a long time ago, there would be so many things that I could have learned so much faster. It also makes learning enjoyable because, you can actually go and find sources. I like going and finding sources. I like knowing that I can, when I find information online, I have somewhere to put it. Even if I write notes down on a piece of paper, I can use ChatGPT, upload the image into ChatGPT and have it transcribe the notes from my piece of paper that I wrote on and add that text into here. And it just becomes endless what type of information you can add into this notebook to continue to learn. So another thing I forgot to show you is, let's just say as you're chatting with your knowledge, you remember this answer it gave me when I asked it to explain ISO to me like I was 10? Well, now I can save this as a note. And now you can see over here to the right, it saved that information as a note. So now I have it later because once you leave this page, this middle column will refresh and everything that you chatted with before will not be there. Okay, so there's one more thing that I want to show you, and that's how to do deep research. Now, these are paid tools, but if you have them, it can really allow you to find information about a topic or a subject very quickly. So you have deep research here in Google Gemini. And let's just say I want to research how to take great portraits in low light. That's just what I'm going to say. Just a random thing I want to search for photography. What this is going to do is it's going to search the entire internet like Perplexity, and it's going to find all the information on that subject for you. Now, the difference between this and Perplexity is that this is a little bit more in depth, right? Perplexity is trying to give you a quick result. And so it might not be as in depth as you need it to be. But this tool is going to do a lot more research and it's going to make a document for you. So once you have this here, it's telling you what it's going to do, right? It's saying find articles and tutorials on portrait photography in low light, find information about camera settings for low light photography, etc. It's going to search all that. Right? It has its itinerary for searching. When I click start research, it's now going to search the entire internet. And once it starts showing, I'll show you once it starts to show the websites that it's actually searching for. You can see that it's starting to search these websites and it says researching 6 websites, now 11 websites. It can search up to 100 websites. I've seen it search up to 100 websites before. And so it's basically just going and finding all the information for you. And once it gives you that information, you can copy and paste it into your notebook LM, and then you'll be able to easily learn anything. It's incredible. So you have this tool, but OpenAI also has deep research now. Now, this is on the pro plan, but it should be trickling down to other plans as well. But it does the same thing as Gemini, but it's a little bit more robust and it goes really, really, really deep. And so I did this because it takes a little bit more time for this tool to run and actually show what it's doing. So I actually did a query on the prices of photography and how to price myself in the United States, in Los Angeles. And it basically went and did a lot of research for me on how to actually be competitive with my pricing. And as you can see, this is a lot of information that I can now go ahead and paste inside of my notebook. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to come here, go to source again, and I'm going to paste. And as you can see, I have all that information there saved as a source. And again, best practice, name your sources so they don't get lost to you. So I can say competitive pricing in Los Angeles for photography. So now I have that information there. I hope you now see the power of these tools. There's so many use cases beyond what I just showed. That was me trying to be a professional photographer and researching everything that I need to know about it. But you can use this for everything. You can use it for events that you're planning. You can use it for small side projects that you're working on and just keeping all of the information in one centralized location. Super powerful. Overall, these tools allow us to cut through the noise. We don't have to go and search through blog articles that are talking about nonsense or watch YouTube videos that are talking about nonsense. We can actually go get straight to the source of the information that we need, add it to the notebook, and then we can chat with it to find the information that we need when it's relevant. It's so useful and it'll make you move fast in this fast paced world that we live in that seems to just keep getting faster and faster. To close the video, I want you to do something for me, and that is go to NotebookLM, create an account, think about one subject that you want to focus on, something you want to learn, and then add 3 sources. Once you have the 3 sources inside of the notebook, I want you to start to chat with the information and then save that information as notes. Once you get used to this workflow, then I want you to find more sources to add to your notebook. If you start doing this today, and you start to learn about a subject that you've been putting off for some time, imagine where you'll be in 3 months. You'll know so much more. And with that knowledge, you can do so much more in your work, in your studies, in your hobbies, or whatever it is that you're doing. And I promise you that you'll be happy that you started. That's it for this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video.